free.
This is the Fox Primetime News at 9.
A threatening letter is mailed to the Chase Bank downtown. Thanks for joining us. I'm Andrew Spino.
And I'm Jamie Soretta. It's the second time this week a bank in the metro has received a letter threatening to kill whoever opens it. Fox 25's Nick Winkler found out it's part of a nationwide hoax. First on Fox.
Jamie, preliminary tests show this letter contained no hazardous material. Investigators do believe it's a hoax, like the other 50 or so letters mailed nationwide earlier this week, but it is a hoax that could delay medics from getting to a real emergency.
I guess we should have expected it. They're going to Chase banks everywhere.
Greg George works inside the Chase Bank building, where workers have been warned about threatening letters.
We don't know who it is.
And postal investigator Paul Boyd does not know what's inside this one. The banker who got the letter did the right thing and did not open it. Similar letters mailed to Chase banks and federal agencies in 11 states earlier this week contained a white powder that turned out not to be harmful.
We double bagged we sealed up the envelope, and all we did is we tested for radioactive material and we tested for other substance from the outside. We found nothing.
Since the letter was not open, none of the bank's workers had to be decontaminated like they were earlier this week when a Norman bank got a similar letter.
Guy's an idiot, but hopefully they'll catch him soon.
Today's letter was mailed from Amarillo, Texas. Just like the others, the FBI released part of it. The writer accuses the bank of stealing thousands of dollars and says whoever opens the letter and breathes its contents will die in 10 days.
It's somebody with an axe to grind against them for whatever reason.
Investigator Boyd is concerned if there's a real emergency, police and firefighters will be tied up handling these hoax letters. Today's was mailed the same day as the others, but delivered late for some reason, and there could be more out there.
I hope not. There may be.
Investigators do plan to open today's letter and check for white powder. Remember, though, the preliminary test came back just fine, but more thorough test results should be back in 3 or 4 days. Jamie?
Okay, thank you, Nick. Postal investigators say they're looking at mail flow and how mail is delivered internally to determine who the letters are coming from. The FBI is offering a $100,000 reward for help in this case.
A confessed murderer will likely spend the rest of his life behind bars. Sonny Limpy says he killed Mauricio Montalongo in Forest Park in 2005. Police arrested him in Texas last year. The jury recommends life in prison. Formal sentencing is next month.
Police catch a group of teenagers accused of an armed home invasion. Officers say the three kicked the door down at a house near Northwest 83rd and Robinson this morning. The alarm sounded and they ran away. And neighbors saw them running, called 911. Police arrested them a little later. Officers say one of them had a gun. No one was hurt.
A sheriff's deputy's car is in the wrong hands tonight. The Marshall County Sheriff's Office says someone stole the car during a traffic stop early this morning near Lake Texoma. The cruiser is marked and it does have weapons inside. It has a number 0503 on each side. Good news, the deputy was not hurt. A school teacher faces charges of molesting kids.
Jeff Dallin is a music teacher at Homer Elementary, that's east of Ada. One girl told police Dallin touched her while other students were watching a movie in class. Police say Dallin admitted to molesting 3 kids at school. The DA's office has not yet filed any charges.
Police in Oklahoma arrest a man wanted on the West Coast. Police arrested Bobby Lawson this morning. He was delivering furniture to an apartment in Midwest City at the time. Lawson is wanted for kidnapping and assault in Washington State. Investigators spend most of the day looking through Lawson's semi-trailer for evidence.
I mean, we're just fortunate that we were able to work with Midwest City Police Department and get this guy off the streets. Obviously, he's a dangerous individual, and he's currently behind bars where he belongs.
From here, Lawson will be extradited to Washington to face charges.
Well, it was a very cool October day, and it's about to get downright chilly. Check this out. We have a freeze warning tonight for far west Oklahoma and the panhandles. Everybody else in western and central Oklahoma, a frost advisory is posted, and here's why. Out west, we're going to have overnight lows in the low to mid 30s, 31 and below freezing tonight for Woodward. Everybody else in the central and eastern parts of the state, mid to upper 30s, 37 for Oklahoma City. And tonight, we have some rain shower chance chances. A cold rain is possible in the northern sections of the state, but only a small chance of that happening. So bring in and cover up the plants and flowers tonight if you haven't already. It's going to be a frosty Friday morning, followed by a cool afternoon. It's going to be a warm and sunny start to the weekend, but a cold front moves in on Sunday. I'll let you know what that's going to do to us in just a little bit.
With less than 2 weeks to go before Election Day, the presidential candidates are hitting the campaign trail hard, hoping to persuade those undecided voters. Barack Obama held a rally today in Indiana, a state that has not picked a Democrat for president since 1964. He will spend the next 2 days in Hawaii visiting his sick grandmother. Then Obama resumes his campaign in Nevada Saturday. His opponent, John McCain, is on a whirlwind tour of Florida, making 6 stops in 12 hours tomorrow. And he will hold 3 rallies in Colorado. Also traveling the country campaigning for John McCain, Governor Mike Huckabee. Tonight, though, he makes a stop for a speech at Oklahoma Christian University. He says this actually is not a campaign stop. He's a guest speaker for OC's Leadership Institute, and the topic will be about personal responsibility. But we asked him whether he would consider ever running for president again.
What I try to do is to be honest and say, I don't know. I mean, I very well could explore that option. I don't rule it out. I'm not going to say categorically never again or yes, I will, because a lot of it depends on the opportunity, what the political landscape might look like in 4, 8, 12 years.
We also asked him what he would change if he were in charge of John McCain's campaign. He says no one from the McCain campaign has ever asked for his advice, so he doesn't have any. For more election coverage, you can go to our website, OKCFox.com, and click on the Campaign Plus button on the left side of the page.
OU is going to slow down some of its construction projects. President David Boren says the university will not sell bonds to fund projects until the current credit crunch eases. Boren says OU will continue the projects that already have gone out for bid or have already started, but would not specify what projects those are. More than 4,000 Oklahomans still have money coming to them from the IRS. The agency says it's holding nearly $3 million in refunds and stimulus checks because the checks were returned by the Postal Service. An IRS spokesman says people in 76 of Oklahoma's 77 counties are due a check. If you think you're one of those people, call 800-829-1954 or log on to our website, OKCFox.com. Click on Daily Links. The massive GM plant officially changes hands.
And today, Tinker Air Force Base grabbed the keys, but Fox 25's Matt Austin found out Tinker's takeover may take a while.
A building vacant for more than 2 years, expected to turn vibrant in the next 5.
5 years from now, from this empty space, you're going to see a vibrant workforce in here with the industrial complex working at full speed ahead.
Oklahoma County voters approved a $55 million bond to buy the plant in May. The county now leases the building to Tinker Air Force Base for $1 a year. Thursday, the Air Force officially takes the keys.
You know, Oklahomans, one of our unique characteristics is that we're great at turning challenges into opportunity.
Before Tinker can move in, they've got to do demo, and a lot of it. Crews are already here taking down every single steel catwalk in this massive building. Just that alone could take until next summer. Officials have a 5-year plan for moving Tinker's workers out of old buildings that infringe on runways. Other upgrades benefit employees.
You'll find they don't have the climate control. There are some places where in the summertime you actually had to let them rest for 45 minutes every 2 hours.
But opposition claims taxpayers are losing out. General Motors paid taxes on this property, not anymore. Proponents say benefits outweigh the losses.
Jobs, jobs, jobs. That's what's going to be the benefit.
The question is, how many jobs?
If you were to ask the question, how many jobs is this going to mean, we couldn't even answer that right now.
Tinker will take up only half the space inside this plant. The other half will be leased to companies in the future.
Economically, this is a great thing for Oklahoma, and our economy has been way ahead of the rest of the nation, and this is going to put us even higher.
Matt Austin, Fox 25 News.
Tinker is also working on ways to give the plant very tight security like the rest of the base. School buses in Oklahoma, often known as cheese wagons, are undergoing some major changes.
Big debate in the newsroom over this one. Well, coming up on the Fox 25 Late Edition, it's a new name, a new look all in the name of safety.
Plus, Big 12 men's basketball takes center stage downtown. We'll hear from coaches and players from around the conference. Liam McHugh has the sports wrap coming up.
Watching Andrew Spino. Jamie Soretto, Chief Meteorologist Jeff George, and sports with Liam McHugh. This is the Primetime News at 9.
Across the country, thousands of school buses are getting a makeover.
They're still going to be yellow, but the real changes are on the inside. Fox 25's Abby Ross tells us how they should give your kids a safer ride to school.
Studies have shown that school buses are already the safest form of transportation in America. But when it comes to our kids, you can never be too safe. So you will now start seeing higher seats and more seat belts. Renee Wainscott has what she calls a tall 13-year-old.
He is at least 5'5", so, and still growing.
He rides the bus to and from school, and as Renee remembers from her school bus days, the ride can get a little rough.
So when the bus slams stop real quick, we would hit the front of the seats. Sometimes you'd hit the seat right in your nose, and wouldn't feel too good.
A hard hit for Renee, and an even harder one for a taller kid like her son. Well, say goodbye to the body slam. A new federal law requires all school buses to have higher seat backs. Putnam City is already ahead of the game. Under the current law, the seat back should be around 20 inches tall, so that's right about here. The new law requires them to be 24 inches tall, so that's about here, and Putnam City's is even taller than that. John Crafton is the Director of Transportation for Putnam City Schools. He says the taller seat backs really help the taller kids.
The taller seat backs keep them from, if the bus has to stop suddenly, from going over the top of the seats.
The law also requires all smaller buses to have lap and shoulder belts. Putnam City already has the lap belts. Crafton says shoulder belts will only make the ride that much safer.
I think the harnesses and safety vests help protect them because they don't have the weight that the larger buses have.
Big or small, tall or short. Under the new law, all kids should have a safer ride, or at least get bumped around a lot less.
I think that'd be good. Then that way it would protect all the students.
The law only affects new buses. Schools are not required to change their current ones. Putnam City is getting in new small and large buses. All of them will have the new safety features. Andrew, back to you.
All right, Abby Ross, thank you. School districts can install seat belts on larger buses if they choose to. Money from the Federal Highway Safety Fund will help pay for them.
Well, it looks like Jack Frost will be nipping tonight. We do have a frost advisory for most of west and central Oklahoma in the overnight hours. Far western Oklahoma and the panhandles, a freeze warning is posted. And here's why. Temperatures are going to be in the low to mid 30s out west. 31 for Woodward. At other locations here in far western Oklahoma in the low-lying areas mainly are going to be below freezing. Everybody else in the mid to upper 30s will have 37 for Oklahoma City. So crank up the heat tonight. Big time. Widespread frost is possible statewide, so make sure you take care of those plants and flowers if you haven't already. And there is a chance, a very small possibility of some chilly rain in northern Oklahoma for the next few hours. Other than that, most of us are just going to see some nice dry skies. Lots of sunshine to start the day tomorrow. But boy, is it going to be chilly. 37 degrees, a northwest wind, very light. So luckily the winds will be on the light side tomorrow morning. So the wind chill factor should really not be a factor to get your day going. Mostly sunny and chilly for tomorrow morning. This low pressure system that has been giving us all those clouds the past 24 hours is going to be taken off. That'll take most of the clouds and those rain shower chances with it. So very sunny and very cool as we step into tomorrow afternoon. Now we're going to be in the 50s and 60s. Most of the 50s we'll find up to the north. 58 for Ponca City, upper 50s for Stillwater as well as Enid. Central and south 60s. We'll do 61 for Oklahoma City. Mid 60s for Lawton. Ardmore near 70 degrees for tomorrow afternoon. Nice and comfy. Here's your Metro Planner where we're going to start off cold, end up cool. Only 56 at lunchtime tomorrow, 61 degrees at 4 o'clock. That'll be your high in the metro. Now, I tell you what, if you're heading out to Friday night football tomorrow night, high school football action, you better grab a jacket or a sweater. Look at those temperatures, much like tonight, maybe even a little chillier, somewhere in the 40s. We have PC North taking on Mustang. That is the Gridiron Friday game of the week. Temperatures in the 40s. The winds will be very light tomorrow night, and we're talking about some very clear skies. Tomorrow tomorrow night, clear and cold. And as we step into the weekend, well, we're going to see a lot more sunshine coming our way. And some patchy frost is possible once again, as most of us are going to end up in the 30s to kick off the weekend. Saturday afternoon, 72 degrees and sunny. A lot more big blue skies coming our way. It's going to be nice and balmy with those temperatures in the low to mid 70s. A southwest wind, not too breezy on Saturday afternoon, about 5 to 15 miles per hour. Let's go ahead and talk some more football. We have OU up in Kansas taking on Kansas State. Kickoff is at 11:30. We'll have a temperature of 58 degrees, and the temperatures will be in the 60s for the rest of the game. A southwest wind about 5 to 15 miles per hour and lots of sunshine. A lot more sunshine as OSU takes on the #1 ranked Texas Longhorns. Sunshine and 70s, a lot warmer down in that direction. We'll start off in the 70s, near 80, end up in the fourth quarter somewhere in the mid 70s. Hard to believe if OSU beats Texas, they may end up being the #1 ranked team in the nation. How about that? Here's your 3-day forecast. We could see a frost or a freeze the next few mornings, but warming up nicely as we step into Saturday afternoon, 72 degrees. Another cold front slams into us. It looks like sometime on Sunday afternoon. That'll cool us off a little bit more in the afternoon hours on Sunday, and it's going to cool us off a lot as we step into Monday. Highs are back in the 50s, lows are back in the 30s. So Monday and Tuesday, another freeze or frost is possible. Getting back into the 60s for highs on Tuesday and Wednesday. More sunshine is in your forecast, and we're back right around 72 degrees for next Thursday. So lots of ups and downs here for the next 7 days, but generally dry and not too bad with those temperatures in the afternoon, but you're going to have to deal with some very chilly mornings, though.
Yeah, nice for the weekend, though. That's the important thing.
Yeah, Jamie doesn't look very
Yeah, I'm not
thrilled
pleased,
about that.
but I'm not mad, so that's good.
Around here, that's as good as it gets.
Yeah, we got to get used to it, I guess.
Yeah, you know what? A morning walk this weekend could save future generations from a horrible disease. Oklahoma City's Memory Walk for Alzheimer's is Saturday at 9:30 at the Bricktown Ballpark. I'll be there walking with my mom and dad in honor of my grandmother. The money we raise will fund research to find a cure for this heartbreaking disease. So log on to our website, okcfox.com. Click on daily links to help us out. Sports is coming up next.
Fox Friday's got game. First, meet the 19-year-old mayor who gives Jeff the key to the city.
You didn't have to bring it all the way out here. You could have left it under the mat.
An all-new fifth grader. Then, can American Idol's Constantine get a little help towards winning the Lyrics $1 million for charity? Are you giving me a hint?
I'm trying to, brother.
Lyrics.
Friday starting at 7 on Fox 25.
Trust me, my friends and family could care less of what happened to us in April last year. I mean, I think they're happy that we won, but that doesn't affect treatment at all. They'll give me just as hard a time as they've ever given me, but I always love coming back here.
Good evening, people. Edmond native Bill Self returned to the Sioux State today as a national champ. But just 6 months after cutting down the nets, his Jayhawks aren't even favored to win the Big 12. Nope. Today, the hoops hype belongs to Oklahoma. Sean Clinch has more from Big 12 Media Day.
We can't really let it get to our head because we still know we got to prove that, even though we're in the polls.
The Sooners are rather humble about all the preseason hype, especially since OU has returned to the national scene in just 3 years under Jeff Capel.
A lot of people I talk to, are like, we can't wait for basketball season. I know the progress that we're making. It goes on so many levels with recruiting to all of a sudden we're close to selling out student season tickets.
Meanwhile, in Stillwater, there is a completely different attitude under first-year head coach Travis Ford.
We just have a lot of work to do. This doesn't happen overnight, but I really love working with these guys.
The main thing is just we're going to have to do it at a high tempo and just get it done.
Eaton has trimmed down to 210 pounds, which is ideal for OSU's run-and-gun offense. Now, from weight loss to fashion statements, which Griffin brother at OU was the best dressed? Well, you're going to have to wait till Fox 25 Sports Sunday. I'll let you know who that was. From Big 12 Media Day, Sean Clinch, Fox 25 Sports.
All right, John, both OU and OSU tip off their seasons at home November 14th. Sooners host American. UTSA will visit the Cowboys. Pac-10 Hoops on Tuesday, Lute Olson said he was fired up to coach. Tonight, he says he's done with coaching forever. After 25 years with the Wildcats, Olson has called it a career. Associate coach Mike Dunlap will take over on an interim basis. Olson won 780 games. The last time all of Oklahoma's major football programs were in the top 25 at once, there was barely any visual evidence. The year was 1945, and only 5,000 American homes had televisions. Today, fans everywhere know that 4th-ranked OU, 8th-ranked OSU, and number 19 Tulsa have a combined 20-1 record. And the offensive numbers are ridiculous. David Johnson, Sam Bradford, and Zach Robinson are 1, 2, 3 in the country when it comes to quarterback rating. The last time all three were in the top 25 was November 12, 1945. On that day, Neil Young was born. It was also the year George Orwell published Animal Farm. I almost read that whole thing. And at a time when gas cost 15 cents a gallon. Let's move on. The Red Raiders have had seven kicks blocked this year, but they found a replacement place kicker in an unlikely place. This is a month ago. Matt Williams won a kicking contest during halftime of Tech's win over UMass. His prize at the time, a free month's rent. But he also caught the eye of Coach Mike Leach, who has suited him up. And get this, Williams may actually kick during Saturday's game against Kansas. Folks, that is my kicker story. We're back in 2 minutes.
You never ask a barber if you need a haircut, and the very best time to buy something is when someone has to sell it. And at Uterberg Chevrolet, we must sell them. How? Price. An example, an 08 Silverado regular cab, $12,960. Yes, $12,960. Want some more room? How about an extended cab for $14,996? Yep, $14,996. Got air conditioning? Absolutely. Hey, it don't take a genius to pick a goat. I have a flock of sheep.
Western Avenue.
Halloween is 8 days away, but you can celebrate early this Saturday at the Ghouls Gone Wild Parade. Begins in Midtown, winds down to Bricktown. Look, there's me and Jamie last year. More than 70 groups will participate, including the now world-famous March of 1,000 Flaming Skeletons with Flaming Lips frontman Wayne Coyne, and Brent Weber and I will MC the event. They didn't ask Jamie to come back this year.
Nope.
It's that makes it worth going right there. It's Saturday night, starting at 7 o'clock.
I'm gonna make you wear that little headband I had.
I'm sorry, Jamie.
I'm gonna whip that out.
So it's not my fault. I wasn't in charge of the invite list.
You were plugging for me.
That's all the time we have.
All right. Good night, everyone.
We know you have many choices for news, so thanks for watching the Primetime News at 9.
BobMoore.com.